Hello everyone, welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to kick off this week with our Smash or Pass video. If you're new here, this is a weekly series that I do here on this channel where we talk about the latest fragrances that have been announced over this past week. This is a fun way for us to aggregate all of these new releases, talk about what strikes our fancy, what we'd rather pass on. This is a series I like to call Smash or Pass for that purpose. It's kind of a playful commentary on consumerism. So if you're interested, definitely do keep on watching this video. But if this is your first time on this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I absolutely love fragrances. I talk about them here every single weekday. Yes, that means 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. And if you're like me and you like fragrance history, then I'd highly suggest you check out the Fragrance Report. The Fragrance Report, oh my gosh, the Fragrance Report is a podcast available on Spotify and YouTube. We publish a new episode every single Wednesday. And this week, since the Pope just got announced this past week, we're going to be talking about the Pope and the Catholic Church's long-standing relationship with fragrance. So if you're interested in that, definitely do check back in on Wednesday. If you're someone who also really wants to be mindful with how much fragrance you're consuming, what fragrances you're buying, the fragrances you already have in your collection, maybe you want an effective way to track your fragrances, decants, samples, I have just a solution for you. It's my fragrance collection log and expense tracker. It's available on my Stan store for you to download, so you can check it out down below in the description box. So with that being said, we have a lot to cover. I'm excited about this video. We have a lot of new summer releases coming onto the market, a lot of exciting stuff. So let's get into it. As many of you already know, I've been kind of obsessed with A Grove by the Sea by Arquiste. So when I saw them come out with this new fragrance, of course, that instantly struck my fancy. This new fragrance will be called Tropical, and it's going to be a floral citrus perfume with top notes of frangipani, ginger, guava, and lime, a mid of guava blossom, jasmine sambac, and champaca, and then a base of vanilla absolute, mahogany, and amber. This sounds really, really interesting. I saw a few posts created by Erin. I think Erin Oh So Fresh over on Instagram. She's also on TikTok, I believe. She's absolutely lovely. She went to their launch event at Stell over in Brooklyn. And she actually did say that this is going to be a guava-centric perfume. So that sounds really exciting. This is absolutely something I would be interested in trying out. For those of you who don't know, Arquiste is a, I believe, Mexican brand. They have a variety of really intriguing launches. A Grove by the Sea is a bottle that I purchased myself. I own it. I love it. I'm wearing it all the time. And they also have a few really interesting releases as well. This one is one that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. We also have a few really interesting releases from Haramain. They have 4 new fragrances, and the thing that really stood out to me about these fragrances is the fact that the packaging is rather interesting. It looks like a bunch of different gemstones almost. So they have 4 fragrances: Natural Iris, Natural Amber, Natural Oud, and Natural Forest. Let's break these down. So Natural Iris is going to be a citrus fresh fragrance with notes of bergamot, mandarin, and orange at the top, a mid of grapefruit, ginger, and iris, and then a base of lily of the valley and musk. Next, we have Natural Amber, which is going to be a white floral citrus powdery fragrance with top notes of grapefruit, mandarin, and pear, a mid of lily of the valley, orange blossom, and jasmine, and then a base of sandalwood, leather, amber, and musk. After that, we have Natural Oud, which will be a warm, spicy, fresh fragrance with notes of black currant, grapefruit, pineapple, and bergamot, as well as nutmeg, pink pepper, and cloves at the top, a mid of cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, and rose, and then a base of patchouli, oak moss, sandalwood, vetiver, and tonka. Finally, last but certainly not least, we have Natural Forest. This is going to be an aromatic citrus fragrance with top notes of black currant, coriander, I cannot speak today, orange, citron, lemon, and mint, a mid of carrot seeds, may rose, apricot, and basil, and then a base of ambrette, dates, and fig. This does seem like a really interesting release. I am super curious about like the general packaging of this. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a bottle that looks like this. It's, yes, kind of like pushing the envelope when it comes to the packaging, as a lot of Middle Eastern brands do tend to do, but what I like about this is that it doesn't really look unattractive. Like, they're pushing, but it doesn't necessarily look bad. It's interesting because I find that so much of the time whenever a Middle Eastern brand tends to like really push their packaging, like whenever they try to come out with something that looks a little bit more unique, sometimes it looks a little bit funky, other times it looks intriguing. This, I feel like it would be in between. I like the way this looks like in the photos, but I feel like in person it could go either way. I'm kind of curious about it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, these seem interesting. I would definitely be open to getting decants of these. I will say, because of the way the notes look, I mean, I'm just saying this based off of the notes. I've not smelled these before. Based off of the way the notes look, I feel like seasonally it might be a little bit of a kind of, there's a bit of a disconnect. Because when I look at this, I think rich, dark, ambery, wintry, fall. When I look at the packaging. When I look at the notes, they look like, you know, something that would be a little bit more summer appropriate. So I feel like something that could have been a better option would have been to come out with fragrances that were maybe like not jewel tone in appearance and maybe like were a little bit lighter, because it looks like this is going to be like a more, you know, like a fresh, more aromatic, citrusy, summer forward collection. So I feel like if they came out with fragrance bottles that also reflected that, that would make a little bit more sense to me. But of course, that's me like completely nitpicking. Let me know if you agree or disagree on that. There's also the brand called Dirose. They're coming out with 2 fragrances. I haven't seen them before, but I was interested in kind of exploring them, checking them out, and showcasing them in this video. These 2 fragrances are called Sar and Art. So S-A-R-H, and then Ad is A-H-D. Clearly I don't speak Arabic. I think this is Arabic, but Sar is a woody, warm, spicy fragrance with notes of black and pink pepper, bergamot, olive atom, and pimento, amid of sandalwood, vetiver, papyrus, and rose, and then a base of akigala wood, mystical, saffron, and suede. I do love suede. Then Odd is a vanilla powdery fragrance. Oh, that sounds interesting. We have top notes of coconut powder and heliotrope amid of Madagascar vanilla, and then a base of vanilla absolute, white musk, palo santo, lactones, coconut, and musk. Okay, so this one is meant for men. The one I just mentioned with a coconut is meant for men, apparently. And then let's see, what about the other one? The other one is meant for women and men. So the red is meant for women and men. The kind of like beigey one is meant for men. I'm curious about that because when I saw the notes, I immediately thought that the white one would be for women and the red one would be kind of like masculine, just based off of the notes. Obviously, these could be unisex. I mean, I definitely don't think that fragrance necessarily has a gender, but for marketing purposes, of course, some brands do tend to like, you know, push fragrances towards a certain demographic just to make it easier on the consumer to like pick out the fragrance that they might want to have. That's why we have, you know, fragrances marketed the way they are, in my opinion. But looking at this, I feel like the one fragrance that's being marketed towards men is actually the one that a lot of women would find really interesting. So I feel like this is just based off of what Fragrantica is saying. So Fragrantica is saying that the white one is meant for men. I feel like they would do better if they were just marketed both as unisex. I don't know, maybe Fragrantica made a mistake, but the white one to me seems to be definitely unisex, if not a little bit more feminine than the red. That's my opinion, but let me know what you think. Another fragrance is called Purple by Fugazzi. This is a new release from the brand with top notes of violet, a mid of amber tonic, and then a base of amber mousse. So, okay, it seems that violet is definitely the center stage here. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be a launch that's commemorating Liberty London's 150th anniversary. Liberty is a well-known store located in London, and okay, it's supposed to combine heritage and modernity. Got it. Based on the notes, I mean, I love violet. I love violet fragrances. That right now for me is one of my hyperfixations. I'm looking for violet iris fragrances actively. This seems interesting. I feel like I wouldn't go out of my way to look for this, but I think in general, Fugazzi has some interesting sounding fragrances that I would like to try, but I have to be honest, I feel like this is interesting. I would be open to smelling it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to like actually look for it, if that makes any sense. This really popped out to me. This is a fragrance called Star Oud by Mont Blanc. This is a unisex leaning fragrance that will be a fragrance with top notes of cinnamon and cardamom, a mid of precious woods and oud, and then a base of sandalwood and amber notes. This does seem interesting. I would be interested in trying it out. It's 125 milliliters and it will be priced at $152. I'll be open to trying this out. I feel like this is like one of the examples, I've mentioned this in previous videos, but it's one of the examples in my mind of a kind of designer brand bringing in fragrance notes, concepts, that we previously have only really been seeing in niche fragrances or, you know, Eastern perfumery. So it's really nice, I think, to see designer brands really expand, really try to include other notes that the average consumer here in the West may not have heard of in their marketing. And I think it also speaks to how social media and, you know, fragrance content creation, I believe, has played a critical role in kind of educating the masses, so to speak, on these notes that they might not have heard of 5 years ago. So this is a bit of an aside. I have gotten some feedback from many of you about including the names of the fragrances and the timestamps for these perfumes in my description box, or including pricing. And to be completely honest with you, it takes a lot of time to do those things. When it comes to pricing, I often talk about these fragrances before they're even launched for sales. So unless the fragrance release or unless the fragrance announcement, be it on Fragrantica, other websites, show the price on the actual release, I'm not going to include the price because, I mean, it's not there for me. So I'm not going to like go out of my way to try and hunt down the price if it's not already included in the announcement, because it just takes up a lot of time. And when it comes to timestamps, I really do want to do timestamps in my videos. I try to, at the very least, include either a photo of the fragrance I'm talking about or include the name of the fragrance I'm talking about in all my videos on the screen. So in this particular case, you see the photo of the fragrance, so you can see what I'm talking about, you can see the brand name, and I do want to start building out the description boxes in all my videos. I will say it does take a lot of time. It might not look like it, but it does take some time, and sometimes that's just not a possibility. I would rather honestly prioritize getting more content out than build out the description box of every single video and put out less content, if that makes any sense. So I do want to start including that as a resource in my videos. I want to start building out the description box more, but it takes time, but I am working on it. So that's that on that. The next item that I want to talk about, let's check back on my document. Oh yeah, we have some new body mists by Phlur. So we have Peach Skin and Beach Skin. These kind of got like dropped recently, and I wanted to talk about them in this video because I know a lot of people really like this brand, and some people don't. I'll get to that in a moment. But Peach Skin is a fragrance mist with notes of peach, plum, and Bellini at the top, a mid of coconut and caramel, and then a base of sandalwood and sheer amber. On the other hand, Beach Skin will have notes of tiare blossoms at the top, a mid of salty arocord and bergamot, and then a base of coconut milk and sandalwood. So when it comes to Phlur, I feel like they, as a brand, are so polarizing. People either love them or they hate them. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't like wait with bated breath for their new releases, and I also don't despise them. I actually do have a fragrance mist from them. I believe it's one of their vanilla ones, and I do like it. It's not too sweet. I think it's like easy to wear and pair with other fragrances, so I don't regret buying it. I actually do appreciate it as a mist, but I kind of see them as an alternative to the Sol de Janeiro body mist, and let me explain. So you know how the Sol de Janeiro body mist, they're like a very specific kind of scent, you know, like if you are someone that likes a lot of gourmands, you would like the Sol de Janeiro body mist. But if you're someone who might not want anything too sweet, you might look at the body mist and you might be like, okay, that's too much, I don't want that. And I feel like Phlur is a good alternative for that kind of person. Phlur is a good alternative if you want something that's still a perfume, if you want something that's still a fragrance, but you don't necessarily want anything that's like too gourmand. I'm talking about their body mist specifically, by the way. I'm sorry if I mentioned perfume, but yeah, I'm talking about their body mist specifically. Sometimes it's just convenient to have a body mist in your beach bag, in your handbag, to just get out and spray on and then put back in. Like, I like the convenience of it. And they have a bunch of different options and they're available in like every Sephora. So I like the convenience of it. But what I'm trying to get at is I kind of like, I don't go either way when it comes to Phlur. I try their releases, I sample them. Some I like, some I don't like. I think that Phlur is a solid brand if you're looking for body mists that, like I said, fit into that in-between category, that play with trending notes without going overboard. So that's my opinion on Phlur. And of course, I will be trying these in store. I think a lot of you really enjoy when I kind of like give you kind of snippets, previews on the new fragrances available at Sephora, Ulta, and give you my opinions. I think some of you guys really enjoy that, so I will keep a lookout for these and give you my opinions when these are available in store. We also have a new launch from Rasasi, a lot of Middle Eastern launches in this video. So this is Hawass for her Eclat. So this is a flanker with top notes of lychee, bergamot, pear, and pistachio, a mid of rose and incense, and then a base of vanilla, amber, and musk. I'll probably get a decant of this, but I have to admit, I'm not like, this isn't like blowing my mind, and I feel like I'm such a narc sometimes when it comes to these new releases, but it's literally because like there's so many releases coming out. I've gotten to the point that unless it's like unless it's from like a brand that I already try, I really like what they do, or I see the notes and I'm like, wow, this looks really interesting and new and I've never seen that before, a lot of times I'll be super skeptical, and I think that's healthy. Like, I'm not trying to hate on these fragrances, but I'm also not trying to act all bubbly and all excited about fragrance notes and combinations that I might have seen before. And in this particular case, it looks like they basically took the fragrance notes that like already seem to sell pretty well / already are trending and decided to put them together in a fragrance and say, here you go. And in this particular case, they have lychee and pistachio. Both are fragrance notes that we've seen so many times. And yes, they're pairing them with some other notes, but like they're putting them in this fragrance and I'm like, I can't say that I'm super excited about it. Yes, I'll smell it, but I'm not like, I'll get a decant probably, okay? But I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. You know what I mean? Because I already have lychee fragrances. I already have pistachio fragrances. Not gonna lie, pistachio is a note that I just don't have any patience with. I'm sorry. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it as a note. It goes either way. But yeah, I can't say I'm excited about this. Like, it just looks like something that they put out because these notes are trending and that's it. Like, I can't say anything else about it. I do like Hawass Parfum, like the original, the gold one. So good. If you're looking for an alternative to like La Vie est Belle, I'm not saying it's a clone at all. In my opinion, it's not. But if you're looking for something that's like less sweet, a little bit more refined, more complex, try Hawass Parfum. It's really, really good. I might film a shorts about it just to like introduce you to it, but that's a really good fragrance in my opinion. Liquide Imaginaire is doing a new collection called Imaginarium, inspired by the history of citrus fruits and their natural hybridization. Interesting. Okay, so the idea, I'm reading from the Fragrantica article, by the way, so the idea behind these 9 fragrances, created in collaboration with the young noses of Givaudan, is the imagination without boundaries, where mandarin, cedar, bergamot, and their hybrids are given strong presence thanks to the extensive use of synthetic and natural citrus raw materials, many of them obtained through upcycling. The other category of materials used are Givaudan's Eau Pure essential oils, over 30 for the Imaginarium project. Interesting. Okay. So first we have the fragrance Lime Sister, created by the perfumer Ashley Santiago. This will have top notes of lime, bitter orange, Italian lemon, grapefruit, bergamot, and blood orange at the top. A mid of pomerose, cosmone, broom, Indian jasmine, and mimosa, and then a base of glyloxide, amberfix, and vanilla. Then Bergamot Brother will have, and it's by the way created by Andrea Montanari, and we have top notes of bergamot, angelica, cardamom, mandarin, and orange. A made of ginger, dried fruits, and orange blossom, as well as white pepper, cinnamon, and saffron, and then a base of cosmone, amberfix, atlas cedar, benzoin leather, akigala wood, and orange. Pistachio Cousin is created by Jacek Lazinski with notes of pistachio, incense, Italian lemon, orange, bergamot, elemi at the top, a mid of orange blossom, lemon, and petitgrain, and then a base of cypriol, akigala wood, Australian sandalwood, patchouli, and vetiver. We also have fragrances inspired by cedar with Buddha Blend, created by Carol Billy, and this will have notes of yuzu, finger lime, ginger, and lemon. Oh, interesting. A mid of milk, vanillin, and orchid, and then a base of tonka, ebony wood, Georgie wood, and vetiver. Then we have Cedrat Tonic, which is created by perfumer Julie No, with notes of grapefruit, lemon, gin, citrus, and rosemary at the top, a mid of pink pepper, bergamot, ginger, mint, and jasmine, and then a base of amberwood, akigala wood, elemi, musk, and ambrette. Then we have Seductive Cedrat, and this is created by perfumer Andrea Montanari, and this will have notes of green mandarin, lemon, pink pepper, and yuzu at the top, a mid of milk, jasmine, sesame, and green notes, and then a base of sandalwood, vanilla, amber, cedarwood, and musk. We also have fragrances inspired by mandarin. This first perfume in this section is called Roasted Tangerine, created by perfumer Jacek Lazinski, and this will have notes of Italian mandarin, blood orange, and bergamot at the top, a mid of incense, fennel, petitgrain, ginger, and coffee, and then a base of tonka, cedarwood, akigala wood, white musk, amberfix, and woody notes. We then have Upcycled Mandarin, created by perfumer Kozuk Minakata and Carol Belli, and this will have top notes of Italian mandarin, pink pepper, green mandarin, cardamom, Italian lemon, and then a mid of lavender, orange blossom, apricot, and mahonial, and then a base of heliotrope, benzoin, amber, vanilla, Haitian vetiver, immortelle, cedarwood, and almond. We then have Saffron Mandarin, created by perfumer Wesley Purimal, and this fragrance will have notes of Italian mandarin, pink pepper, and black pepper, as well as blood orange, Italian lemon, petitgrain, and mandarin leaf at the top, a mid of saffron, ylang-ylang, and jasmine, and then a base of tonka, oak, benzoin. The final fragrance will be Saffron Mandarin by perfumer Wesley Purimal, and this will have top notes of Italian mandarin, pink pepper, and black pepper, blood orange, Italian lemon, petitgrain, and mandarin leaf, a mid of saffron, ylang-ylang, and jasmine, and then base of tonka, oak, benzoin, and labnum. Okay, so they do include pricing here. So these are available in a 100 milliliter package for 190 euros each. I don't think that pricing is that bad at all. Let me see if they have a discovery set, because for all these fragrances, I feel like a discovery set is kind of needed. Okay, I don't see a discovery set for this one. I hope they come out with one, because I'll be honest, this is the kind of fragrance collection that I find really exciting, because all these fragrances seem very well thought out. They seem really interesting. They're kind of pushing the envelope with this. Yes, we all have a citrus perfume in our collection, but not all of us have citrus perfumes done in this specific way. I personally love fragrance notes like yuzu. Yuzu, for those of you who are unaware, is a bitter citrus. I love yuzu in fragrances because it provides a refreshing quality without being redundant. And these are all fragrances that I would love to try out. This is really good. I love the Kit Imaginaire as a brand. I only have one fragrance from them, Bloody Wood, but I am a huge admirer of the brand. They have some really interesting launches, and I am constantly looking at their fragrances as something that I would love to try out or at least have in my collection. So yeah, this is a fragrance release that I'm really excited about. I don't really have a specific favorite. I would love to try all of them. But I also really want to discover a set because I feel like I need options. We also have a new fragrance launched by the Merchant of Venice. This is called Rosa Moceniga Elixir. Okay, I probably mispronounced that really badly. But essentially, they are creating this new interpretation of Rosa Moceniga inspired by that fragrance's 10th anniversary. This is supposed to be a, contemporary version of that fragrance with notes of blood orange, lemon, and pear at the top, a mid of Turkish rose, and rose water, and then a base of musk, amberwood, and Madagascar vanilla. Not too bad. It sounds really interesting. I feel like they could have just thrown the lychee in there, but I'm glad they didn't because it's nice to see a pink fragrance with pear in it without lychee. I do appreciate that. I'm such a narc sometimes. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this seems really interesting. To be honest, I haven't tried anything from Merchant of Venice. I have seen them pop up constantly. Let me know, have you tried anything from this brand? And if so, what were your thoughts? I'd be curious to hear your opinion. We also have a new release from Christian Louboutin. They are launching Fétiche Le Santal. It's kind of interesting how Fétiche La Rose went so popular. I think that's the name of the fragrance. I think Demi Rawling made it go viral. I still have yet to try it. I want to see what all the fuss is about. But this is the Le Santal version with woody green aromatic accords and basically notes of fig milk and sandalwood. That's all that's listed. Obviously, they probably have more fragrance notes available, but this is all that's listed so far. I would be open to trying this out. But again, Christian Louboutin, they're not actually super available, at least where I live. So I probably won't try this out soon, but I would be interested in getting my nose on this fragrance. Same thing with the rose fragrance that went super viral. I'd be interested in trying that out too, because apparently Demi Rawling says it's the best fragrance that she has in her collection, which is pretty considerable considering that she's Demi Rawling. But anyway, I would be interested in trying out this fragrance. Let me know what you think. Alright, so that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of these new fragrance releases. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you? Are there any fragrances that you'd rather pass on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching till the end, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.